This is the Neon Tarantino, the director Derek Dillinger.
And Katie Arquette, the leading lady of the production.
And we're live. No second takes, no reshoots.
Hello, everyone, and welcome on in to episode 57 of the Main Event Mixer here on the Main Event Wrestling Network. I am your host, Mr. OTM Kyle Gagliardi, and the man joining me to my left, to my right, I don't know what it is on your guys' screen. Apparently, he's got his hands on his head. He looks a little frustrated over there. It's Elder Sam from Sam's on Wrestling. Sam, how's it going?
Who cares? Who gives a flying fig? What are we doing here? What's the point? Why is this crappy shit? What is it? Hi.
Yeah, we're here for everything, Sam. You know how we roll over here at the Main Event. We got to show up for every single big show, I guess. Would we call this a big show?
I signed up for this 2 weeks ago, and I feel like I've been jibbed. I feel like I've been hoodwinked. Why are we doing this? What's the point? Why are we doing Sunday Night Heat? What's happening? What's this? Is this metal? What's this? Is it Afterburn? What are we doing? What's this crap? Why are we doing this show that is just an NBC locked in that WWE can't get out of, and their obligation is now to just do this on repeat over and over and over again?
That's actually, you're proposing a lot of fair questions, but before I answer those questions, I do have to introduce our other co-host that we have. We have 1/3 of the Indie Wrestling Guide. We got the Hall of Fame referee Jayhawk in the house. Jayhawk, it's good to see you, my friend. You excited for tonight's show?
I'm excited for that main event. I think the main event is going to be awesome. The rest of the show, I feel bad. They're trying to charge 3 figures or more at the fucking Garden for this shit.
Yeah, I'm surprised anybody's paying that amount of money for this show. But hey, do what you want with your money. Who am I to judge? But I don't judge this man that's below me right here because he's part of the Ope 3-Way podcast. We got Brandon in the house as well. Brandon, how's it going, my friend?
Brother, I am getting off of a great morning workout. I got a bit of pre and BCBA. I think that's the acronym in me. So. The brain's kind of going a mile a minute, but I got the hype juice in me for this hour. I'm trying to counterbalance here. We'll see how it goes as time goes on. But yeah, odd juxtaposition, great arena. Yeah, kind of. It's a card. We'll see.
It is a card.
We'll talk about it.
It feels like a house show to me, personally. I think all these Saturday night main event shows kind of feel like that. But wrestling is wrestling, and it's the Main Event Wrestling Network, so we're definitely going to talk about it, guys. If it's your first time hanging out with us, though, don't forget to hit that subscribe button over here on YouTube. We are only 10 away from hitting 400, guys. So you could do this right now. Be a friend. Tell a friend, one person about what we are doing over here. We have a bunch of content. All of us have our own separate shows. There's a bunch of live content, shorts, you name it. We have it here at the Main Event, and to keep up with everything Main Event related, give us a follow at @mainevent_net. But boys, before we get into the card, we got to show some love to the chat. We got the Great Brown Hope. He said, we out you. Indeed, we are out here. We got Jay Gold, who's saying hello to everybody else in the chat. And Great Brown Hope said, my shift is canceled. Let's get effed up. I think I'm already there, guys. I'm not going to lie. I
Down
had
for
myself
it.
a night. So we might as well keep the vibes going here and try to make the most of this card. But before we get into the card, Sam, I want you to tell everybody out there about our newest show here at the Main Event Wrestling Network, because they might not be too familiar with the Transatlantic Wrestling Podcast.
Well, there is now a monthly show that comes whenever me and Jay Gold can be bothered. So it comes to the Main Event Wrestling Network. It's Transatlantic Pod. The idea is me and Jay Gold cannot stay on topic. So come and watch two people who cannot stay on topic do it about wrestling. So we talk about something mainly that's been happening on the internet or been happening in general, and we discuss it, or something that's really interesting to us. We do a big rundown of the entire month that has just gone by. We also do an in memoriam of any wrestlers who have gone by, show them a bit of respect. We do a little bit of nostalgia. Essentially, it's a bit of everything, but really, it's just me and Jay Gold shooting the shit for an hour and 45. And eventually, at one point, we circumnavigate back to Raw at some point. It's just a lot of fun, and it gets me finally on the Main Event Network rather than watching me complain on a mixer about a completely waste of life and a waste of time.
Yet he still showed up, everybody. He says it's a waste of his time, but he's still here.
My girlfriend is currently asleep.
And look at this, Brandon. Pierce is in the chat. He said, I don't need to be at the wedding for a few hours, so I'm going to chill in this chat. Hashtag Donnie is real and getting married.
Damn right he is. That's my boy. Got to shout him out.
Hey,
many happy years. Many happy years to Mr. Donnie and Miss Marta. Wonderful couple. Sad I couldn't be there today, but hey, I love being here with you fine fellows. We're going to talk some wrestling. I think I did the direction. No. There we go.
There it is.
It's hard to collaborate. It's hard to kind of calibrate to this, you know. There you go.
You're figuring it out, though. You're figuring it out.
I'm learning.
You're learning. Yeah, exactly. Great Brown Hope says Jay Gold sets his alarm on a sundial. Jayhawk, can you confirm that? Is that real?
Jay Gold and I are basically the same age. Go no comment.
Okay.
I'm British. If I used a sundial, I'll be 3 months late. We don't know.
Very true. Very true indeed. But hey, guys, let's talk a little bit about this wrestling that's going on tonight at Madison Square Garden. We got a match that actually was just added. It's going to be on the countdown.
Random one at that.
Yeah, I didn't even know the countdown was a thing or that they did matches anymore on the countdown, but we're getting Trick Williams versus Laredo Kid, and I know not all of us watch AAA, but I do keep up with AAA weekly over here, Sam. I know you do not, because the Great Brown Hope's been trying to get you on his Sabado Gigante mixer, but you say no because you hate Americans, right?
Yeah, I can't stand you guys. You're absolutely the worst people. And you know what? It's even worse for Mexicans. Clearly, I can't stand them.
Wow.
From the top rope.
We're off to a good start, I guess.
Every time I watch AAA, it's the most fun wrestling I actually have. So I use it mainly as like a treat. Because if I make that my norm and then I go back to any WWE,
it's going to ruin it.
It just ruins everything about it.
Mm-hmm.
I don't want to break up with my girlfriend just in case it's actually better. That's all I'm saying.
Smart thinking, Sam.
It's just a little 40-minute little nibble, and then you're gone, and then you're off. But you don't regret it after the fact.
It was like when I remember growing up and I got the taste of like Japanese wrestling, and I was like, oh, I love this. But if I make this what I watch every single week, you can't go back.
Turn into Dave Meltzer. Yeah.
You
don't want to turn into Dave Meltzer.
No, you become a miserable prick and you start focusing on what happens if you get kicked 20 times and don't sell. But you just, I with AAA, it's just every time it's on, I'm usually doing something, and I feel like I've missed the boat a little bit. Like I'll probably get it eventually, because not gonna lie, I'm going off WWE really fast at the moment, and that's what I talk about on my channel and on this, so it's a bit of a problem.
I mean, in fairness, it gets like 3 o'clock in the morning for you when it comes on too. Well, I can't really fucking blame you.
That is literally the issue. Like the biggest issue we run into is being in a different time zone. That is the biggest issue, particularly with AAA. So like when Raw and SmackDown's on, it's 12 or 1 o'clock. So that's either too late or you can just about hang on maybe for an hour. Pay-per-views you want next day. But there's something about watching, because you guys don't have to experience this that much. There's something about watching a WWE pay-per-view the next morning that just doesn't feel right.
Yeah.
Yes, you're 100% right.
I hear that.
Any live sport the next day or on a highlights isn't quite the same. Even if you watch the whole thing, even if you sat down on your own watching it, so technically nothing is different about the setup.
Yeah.
It feels different. I don't know what it is about nighttime. I don't know if we're a bit more affluent. I don't know what it is. It's a bit more fun. So that's what actually usually stops me watching Triple H. Usually the next day. And what's even worse is I struggle to have the time to watch it the next day. So then you have to avoid spoilers all day. And run a wrestling podcast, you can't really avoid spoilers. So
Right.
I don't
it
think
ends up
it's
getting
even,
spoiled.
yeah, I don't think it's remotely possible to avoid spoilers nowadays, especially me, who's running like 5 different accounts at one time. Good luck.
Hmm.
Good luck to anybody out there that has multiple accounts. But Brandon, I know you've been keeping up with AAA, so I actually want to start with you. I don't think this match has any real significance because they haven't
Nah.
announced that the title's on the line. I think we know what the pick is, but I think it's also cool that we are getting to see Laredo Kid have a match here at MSG.
No, absolutely. I think it's cool what they're doing with SmackDown and AAA in general. You've seen a lot of infusion recently with AAA and SmackDown. They're trying to promote it to a broader audience. And I mean, SmackDown seems to be the logical choice in that. I mean, clearly NXT as well, since they're on the CW and they have a broad reach. But getting on SmackDown kind of grants it an extra bit of legitimacy, especially when you have guys who are technically already contracted to the SmackDown roster in Rey Fenix and Damian Priest now. And then you've got guys coming over from AAA who are not our WWE. Well, the one WWE guy who, performs pretty much solely in AAA in El Hijo del Vikingo, who him and Phoenix had a fucking incredible match for, I believe it was the Cruiserweight Championship that Rey has. And I believe he was hurt at that point, if I'm not mistaken. I know he's out now for like 7 months or something like that with his injury.
Yeah.
But man, did he and Rey fucking show out. And they're having a lot of, it reminds me a lot of, and I might get a little bit of flack for this, but I already brought up the Cruiserweight title, so we can talk about the Cruiserweight division and how that was featured. It kind of gives the same kind of vibe to me, where they know they have good stuff in this brand and they want to showcase it. I'm hoping the direction pans out a bit better for AAA, it being already a well-established company in Mexico over the last 30 years versus 205 Live, which, was kind of its own passion project. But I think Laredo Kid and Trick are going to show the fuck out. I think because when you look at AAA as an entity, right, I believe Laredo Kid prior to, Máscara con Máscara, I think Laredo Kid was in the last 5-star match that AAA had. It was a tag match. And Laredo Kid, like, I don't know if you guys have caught any of his TNA work at all, or if there's any like side glance in the case, but he's very, very talented, very understated. I think he's going to get a lot of props in this match with Trick. I mean, Trick's already kind of got he's been around like NXT, he's been in TNA. He's worked with a bit of that style. Like he, obviously his work with Mello kind of exhibits what he can do is kind of like, a bigger guy against a smaller guy. So I'm very excited to see how this match goes. I think it's going to be a really good exhibition. And I think it's going to raise stock for both guys involved. So,
well said. I didn't expect
really
that much of
I was going to say, what's really sad is you talk about that AAA has been promoted on SmackDown. It's just gone to 2 hours. That's just going to kill it.
Well, it's going to go back to 3 hours apparently at the end of the year. They said.
Yeah, I know.
Already?
Yeah.
Christ.
It's scheduling
during college football. I would assume.
Oh, I see. So they're kind of. Okay. Well, I mean,
sports,
makes sense. And spiritually, Netflix does that too with the flex time and everything. So
yeah, I mean, that's true.
They're not going to have this on SmackDown anymore. You've already seen it this week. It wasn't really on SmackDown this week. Rey Fenix was, and I thought, oh, this is the problem with going from 3 hours. Why wasn't SmackDown the wrestling show? Why wasn't that one? If you got 3 hours, do wrestling matches that are 15 minutes every week.
They were milking it last night, weren't they?
Yeah, it's just ridiculous. I got through SmackDown in 42 minutes.
I'm not surprised because you didn't really miss much.
That's not great.
No.
That's not great.
SmackDown's not great right now, Sam, as a whole. I mean, I know you probably don't have a lot to add to this specific match, but I'll let you have the floor here if you got any additional comments.
Well, I know of Laredo Kid, and I know how brilliant he is. I can't believe he's 39. That's the thing that blows my friggin' mind. Yeah, it's incredible. These guys look amazing now.
Very
at this age, it's genuinely insane. Like it's like when you've got someone like Sheamus being released at 48, looking like that. They're like, oh, he's a less commodity now, and you're like, look at the man, he's a less commodity. I like the fact that it's going to give Trick probably a win, and Laredo gets to put himself over a little bit like that. I like the idea of using Trick. Trick needs to wrestle more. I feel like that's
agreed.
Mistake that they're doing right now is not having Trick wrestle, because I still can't work out if he's heel or face. They can't seem to work it out either. But
I don't think they care.
But the thing is, though, every night his promos are getting a little bit repetitive because there's nothing to do. And I'd rather him come out and actually have matches. But this is when you realise that SmackDown don't actually have that deeper roster at the moment.
Right.
There's only so many people he can wrestle. And once you've gone through, Carmelo, now a returning Baron Corbin, and Dragunov is still on his 7-month holiday, who else have you got left for him to have a match with? So I'm more than happy to bring in AAA people because, let's be honest, they can wrestle and they're brilliant. And it will get a match out trick. I actually have no problem with this.
Yeah, Jayhawk, any additional comments here about this one?
I've got to make the joke. My Ohio friend, go get it. Is Laredo Kid even in the building? He would get AIW like my regular running joke. Like he would disappear before the show, and they'd have to try to find him before his match.
Gotcha.
But no, I'm okay with this match. I like Laredo Kid a lot. Trick Williams is fantastic. This match is going to be good if it gets enough time. I'm concerned with it being on the countdown show that it's going to get like 4 minutes, and they're going to rush through it, and it won't be enough to really do anything for anybody. In which case, why do it? And in another case, why is there a countdown show for a Saturday night main event?
It's a great question.
You don't have TV to deal with. Just make it part of the main show and make the main show an extra half hour. I don't get it.
I mean, aren't we the countdown to the countdown?
We're always the countdown to the countdown.
To be fair.
But we're more entertaining than their countdown. They're going to actually make it seem like these matches matter. We're going to tell you they really don't. But we're going to have fun.
How great would that be? Like Pete Rosenberg just sit there and go, what the fuck are we doing?
Yeah, right. I am Baron Corbin, Pierce. I am Baron Corbin.
I mean, it could have fooled me. All this talk about going around Johnny is real. There's doppelgangers everywhere. We got Baron Corbin lookalikes.
Your microphone just went really weird for me on my end. I don't know about anybody else.
You went into a stratosphere.
1, 2. Is this on?
You're back.
Okay, awesome.
I've heard of us talking into an echo chamber before, but I think I don't think it's meant to be literal.
These JBL is not being my brand these days, man. Like they sell you on. I bought it on price point, whatever. I got what I paid for. Anyways, I feel like AEW. I feel like has the countdown formula pretty well down. Like leading into the show is kind of weird, right? But and especially, and you can compare sister companies as well. Like they're talking about with, sorry if I'm jumping ahead, but like interim stuff, right? Like I feel like if done right, like it's a good way to, not to get off in the interim too much, but like we're talking about countdown stuff, but like it leads people into the show. It gives them kind of a taste of like what they can expect. It's free on YouTube, right? So I guess I don't see quite the harm in it. Well, this guy, let me get the calibration. There you go. This guy. But yeah, I mean, hey, for those of us, Ameripores who have to, try to debate whether or not we want to pay for it a show, or, toss a little extra dollar here and there or just pirate it. I think it gives a good intro. I think it's a good way to lead things in. You can only take so much talking head, and there's enough talking head dynamic within every bit of media anywhere, primarily in the States, but like, and I love hearing, and I love hearing Big E, and I love hearing Rosenberg, and I love hearing them all just kind of talk shop and stuff. But I feel as though it kind of gets to go on a little bit, and you want to do a little less talk, more action. I feel like this is fine. I'd be again, because it's Trick and Laredo, like it's kind of random, but I feel like there'd be a good clash of styles to kind of give people a taste of like what's offered.
Yeah, no doubt. And honestly, I wasn't expecting us to talk about 10 minutes about Trick Williams and Laredo Kid. So
right,
we are going to try to keep this under an hour, guys. Trust me, we're not going to sit here and just yap forever. But I do need to address something. I'll
put the punctuation on it for you. Who cares? There you go.
All that to say,
Laredo Kid's mom and dad. That's it.
Let me address this comment.
Moving on.
Because the people are talking about one of my favorite wrestlers of all time, Johnny Gargano. Can we stop with the planking shit? You got people making comments about it now, but yet he still won't get up. We have utilized Johnny Gargano for 6 to 8 months of just planking in the back.
His wife got her ass kicked yesterday.
Yes, and that's great. I can't wait to see her and Blake Monroe. That's going to be fun. I love when Candace is wrestling, but come on, let's get to the point with Johnny, and hopefully Sami Zayn's the one that brings Johnny.
Do you remember why he started planking?
Was it because Tommaso got fired?
Yeah,
No,
Tommaso's gone.
He lost. He had the mask of Axiom, lost it, and started planking after that. It was because he lost the mask back to Axiom. That's what he's.
Yeah.
That from February.
Well, in the fade, maybe, but.
I saw that, Pierce. I saw he will be planking in his photo ops. I might have to just go and do that with him because I've already met him a couple times. We might as well just go for the plank too. But we have a full card to talk about, guys.
He must be shredded by now, though. Been planking for 6 months straight.
He's gotta be shredded. Let's get to something more fun because everybody loves Danhausen. He's the king of New York right now. Nixhausen, if you want to call him that. Danhausen versus JD McDonough. Look, this is the perfect card for Danhausen to get a match. I think it's going to be very entertaining. Anything goes. I think that's what the stipulation here is for this matchup. Jayhawk, I know you're a big Danhausen guy, so I'm going to let you go first here because I know he's got some ties to the Cleveland area.
Yeah, I love that Danhausen, absolutely. I like the Saturday Night main event match. I mean, these shows are what they are. The perfect match for they could have been the perfect 12:30 match in the old days, Saturday Night main event, getting that thrown in there at the very end. So, you can make an argument that this is the main event because they've been hyping it for like a month now, playing into the whole New York Knicks thing. I think it's going to be a fine match. Because of the New York Knicks thing, Danhausen's not losing. One way or another, Danhausen's winning it.
No way.
I do want to make a comment, though, but I saw somebody saying, well, all the New York Knicks fans I know, they have no idea who Danhausen is. So you haven't watched ESPN, like, ever in the last 6 months. No, there's no way you're a basketball fan and don't know who Danhausen is at this point. But
I'm telling you, he's literally the king of New York at this point. He's everywhere. He's on the back of buses. Everywhere you go in New York, you're seeing Danhausen. And like you mentioned, on ESPN, every time you turn on ESPN, it feels like Danhausen's there. The dude is massively over. It's working. And I agree with you, Jayhawk. There's no way Danhausen is losing this match, in my opinion. Sam, I'll pass this one over to you.
It'll be fine. It'll be fun. Danhausen's fun. JD McDonough is one of the most underrated wrestlers probably in the world. The man, literally, every time he gets a match on Raw, never, ever, ever misses. True. Like, he gets 4 matches on Raw a year, and all 4 are match of the year contenders. He's genuinely, legitimately that good. But the problem I'm having with Danhausen isn't Danhausen. Danhausen's great fun. Everyone else is struggling in the segments with Danhausen. None of them are good enough actors. They're not either funny enough or they're not a good enough actor, just generally. They're either improvising or they're sticking to a script and he's improvising and they don't have every segment I'm struggling with. And I feel like Danhausen at the moment is just hitting his head against a wall because the segments are awkward and it's not his fault. And JD McDonough is arguably one of the worst exponents of it. He's not a good actor. No. He's not particularly funny. And like Liv Morgan's was okay. Like she kind of worked with him. Miz is great, obviously Miz, but now that's got a bit silly. I thought Kit Wilson was struggling, which I thought was surprised.
Jackie Redmond last night wasn't great with that.
Jackie Redmond was poor. Yeah. Like it almost feels like the only person I felt who got it is Aldis, Nick Aldis, because he's British. And British people know how to play the straight guy to a stupid character. He played it really, really well because he's a British guy and British. And I'm not saying that as a joke. He legitimately knows how to play off it, and it worked really well
humor.
Doing it. But and Pierce, to an extent, actually was pretty good. But he's quite funny here. Pierce again underrated. But that's why I'm struggling, and I don't care about this because it's going to be Jackass Sami Zayn WrestleMania 38, which was a lot of fun. I enjoyed it. But at the same time, you're comparing it to a Johnny Knoxville match. And I don't care. I don't care. Like if this is essentially the most pushed match on your card, Santino Marella versus Lance Storm, effectively, we're in a bit of trouble here, guys. We're in a bit of trouble. We are swimming against the tide.
Right, I see what you're saying. And Michelle wants to know, Brandon, I'll let you answer this question. Is there anybody that can potentially help Danhausen tonight, or you think he's going to take care of everything on his own? I don't see
That's
Enzo.
tough.
The Enzo is going to come with Cass. I think they're saving Enzo with Cass. That's why they didn't choose that.
Yeah, I feel like that's fair. Does Danhausen really need help in this match? I feel it's a no DQ match. I mean, I feel like it's just going to be like Danhausen's Funhausen. It's just going to be him doing a whole bunch of wacky, gimmicky shit to kind of even the odds in his own respect.
Yep.
Like you said, it's going to be a lot of fun. And I actually appreciate your take, Sam, on just how, like you're right. And now that I think about it, a lot of observation kind of says that the people who work with Danhausen don't really seem to get him. The people seem to get him. They're buying the fuck out of his merch. And how many of us would have guessed a year ago that Danhausen would have been WWE's biggest like crossover star, arguably their biggest crossover star?
Nobody would have guessed that. Nobody.
Right. And I feel like it doesn't get stated enough, but it's true. And it's, like he's a top 3 merch seller amongst Cody and Punk, I believe. Right.
Yeah, I believe so.
And dude, and he's featured on ESPN and he's getting all this exposure and he's given the company so much goodwill. He's putting so many new eyes on the product. And man, like that's where it's like, I don't know. Like, I understand, like, the little people thing was hilarious. They brought back El Torito for a night, which was fucking killer. He'll beat JD McDonough. Of that, I'm 100% certain. I think it'd be really fun if they actually broke out a lot more of like the special effects for this match, as opposed to relying on like people props. If that makes sense.
Well, yeah, like you said, make it sort of like the Funhouse kind of thing. Just make it
exactly.
Embrace it.
Yeah. Let it be. Let people see what. Right. And I mean, like you said, like there's going to be, I feel like with this crossover appeal, like it gives people something fun to watch. It gives people an idea of like what is possible within WWE. It generates intrigue, right? Like it doesn't have to be serious. JD at this present point, though he is, and again, to your point, Sam, one of the most underrated talents on the roster at this juncture. He doesn't need to be serious in this. Like Judgment Day is on a decline. Eventually that group is going to splinter off and JD, I'm sure, will rise from the ashes in that regard. But this is fun. This is pro wrestling fun, dudes. Yeah. Just give us a sweet little morsel. It doesn't have to be all steak and taters. Like just give us a little bit of something here.
Eric, is it Carl Anthony Towns like paying you money to comment his name 50 times? Why do you want Carl Anthony Towns there so bad? We already got
his
Jalen
name
Brunson.
Is Carl Anthony Towns.
We already got Jalen Brunson and Roman Reigns, which I had that on my thing. We're not even going to talk about that because they're not going to do anything of significance. So that's getting removed from the banner. I made an executive decision. I got places to be at the top of the hour, so I got to make sure we're keeping things tight. We got a half hour, and we got 3 more matches to talk about. So this one, for some reason, actually I know the reason because people are fickle, is getting a lot of negativity. But once again, I feel like this is the perfect venue card for this match because they dragged this feud out long enough. I feel like we just need to get it over with, and Lyra needs to invest into this heel character. For some people, it's not working. I'm willing to let it play out a little bit because it's only been 2 weeks. I'm not one of those people that reacts after 2 weeks of a story. Or this really isn't 2 weeks of a story. It's longer than that. But 2 weeks of a heel turn, I should say. With that being said, I know Sam looks very happy per usual. Sam's just a bundle of joy on these episodes. Sam, what do you got to shit on here?
You literally explained why there's a problem. It's been 2 weeks. This should be at SummerSlam. You've talked about if Triple H is going to drag out. If Triple H is going to drag out these things for 107 years and sometimes don't give us a finish, then at least put it on the show. And you say it could be. I don't think it will be because once they've done the match, they're going to drift away as they always do. This should be a brawl, ends in problems, and then goes to SummerSlam. I don't think they will. I think this will just be Lyra beating Bayley.
Really?
Yeah. I don't trust WWE to put this on the card. I just don't.
They only have 6 matches right now for SummerSlam?
Yeah, I still don't trust it. I want it to be there because this is the one thing that's actually got what feels like a semblance of a story and a reason to be highlighted. I'm worried because Lyra's not a great promo. She's a very likable human being, and I struggle to see her being a heel. I think her wrestling is also quite baby-facey as well, so she might become more ground and pound wrestler because I know she can do that. I don't know why she's dressed as Nikki Cross. Did Nikki Cross just leave her wardrobe while she left? Is that what we're doing now? I don't understand why she turns and suddenly doesn't have a wash. I don't understand the concept of that. It's confusing. This should be at SummerSlam. It should be built up even further. I hope they don't just do one and done. I'm terrified it's going to be one and done. Hope that it is one and done. Hopefully they'll get some time, but it's a Saturday night's main event. They'll get 10 minutes and then do 20 minutes of adverts.
Yep.
So I am just a bit aggrieved that this was put here. Because at the end of the day, why is this here anyway? SummerSlam's in 2 weeks. Why is this here?
It's
why
classic
indeed?
WWE. It's just a stepping stone to get to the official match, I think. I know you don't think that's what they're going towards, but I do think that this is going to set up. Yeah. I think we all hope that Bayley and Lyra can get on the SummerSlam card because at the end of the day, I've been saying this across multiple shows, this is the biggest show in the States for the next 2 years. They are going to Saudi next year for WrestleMania. They are going to the Vikings Stadium, an NFL stadium that can fit, I think, about 70,000 people, if I'm not mistaken. They've sold 20,000 tickets. 20,000 tickets. And I haven't even bought my tickets. I have my Airbnb. I have my plane ticket. But why would I spend money on these tickets when I don't know what the real cards are going to be? You gave me the main events. You gave me the main events, and I'm sold on the main events because trust me, I don't think there's any bigger matches they can do right now for SummerSlam than what they have for the main events. But the undercard, you haven't sold me on the undercard. This is a match that deserves to be on the undercard, and I think we all would agree there. Jayhawk, I'll let you have the floor on this one.
I agree with Cam that they should be giving this for SummerSlam. I don't know what the plan is. They could end up throwing these two into the ladder match for the interim Rhea Ripley title that they announced yesterday. If it come out giving them a spot without doing the match again, I don't know. I think the match is going to be good. The story's been played really well. I don't know if I like the fact that I get really bad Johnny Gargano character vibe. Got a Lyra heel term. She coming out all disheveled, almost like she disheveled and depressed. Like, you turned on her. Like, why are you depressed? But I mean, the match is going to be good, and I think it is going to build to a rematch at some point, not necessarily SummerSlam. I think Lyra's going to get a cheap win to build to whatever that rematch is.
Well, there's also this. A lot of people seem to be speculating that Tatum Paxley could maybe come up to the main roster because there have been reports that she has been rumored for a call-up very soon, and we know that Tatum and Lyra have that history in NXT. I wouldn't be so sure on that, Brandon, because I feel like Tatum still has some things left to do in NXT, but I also wouldn't be mad at it. I think that is a way to further the story a little more, even though, once again, going back to what Sam said, we don't need to stretch everything out to an entire year.
Well, right. And I mean, we could have argued that Sol Ruca had more to do in NXT as well, right? Past, the feud with Zario, like, could she have been NXT Women's Champ? You know what I mean? But I mean, here we are. And I feel like with the time Tatum has spent in NXT, I feel as though like this is kind of a natural way to include her if this is the route they go. To the question of why they're doing Bayley and Lyra now, I mean, I don't know how much you fellas speculate, but there's a lot of little ping pong going back and forth between Bayley and one Mercedes Moné about, their kinship and about the potential for future matchups. So, I mean, I'm not following contract situations super close, but I understand her contract is coming up relatively soon.
She's gone.
So
you think she's gone?
She's gone.
I wouldn't be surprised. I wouldn't be surprised. I mean, when you think of like Bayley's really done it all in WWE, and there's really nowhere for her. And I think this is kind of what's been communicated in the promo with Lyra Monday last, where she's kind of, in a way, maybe a hot take, but she's kind of been holding Lyra back. And I think Lyra, especially when she adopts this new gimmick, is kind of that visual representation of I'm ready to spread my wings, bird girl, and like really take off into realizing and actualizing her potential in this. So I'd be very curious. I'm very excited for, Druid Swamp Hag Lyra. I'm very curious to see how she plays it. I'm curious to see how she wrestles, because right, she does wrestle very facey, right? And that's kind of been her image. But now we're kind of steering more into this thing. And I'm curious to see if there's any, because I was watching Unreal, I'm catching up for the 21st. And you had Becky talking about how she distinguishes, wrestling heel versus face. And you got to be a bit more brawly, and you got to do like different kind of adaptations when you're wrestling heel, especially when you've been a face for however long Becky had been. So I'm very curious to see how that comes out in this match. I think it's going to be a standout for Lyra. I think Bailey is kind of, at least within WWE's framework, I think she's kind of in the put the next gen over phase. Like, I don't know, like, is she the worst of the four horsewomen? I mean, if she won the title right now, would anyone be like excited? Or like, oh, I can't wait to see what this reign's going to be like.
Yeah,
you know,
been there, done that kind of situation. You know?
I love Bailey. Like, I was so hyped for her and Sasha's match in Brooklyn back in NXT. Like, I was hyped for her winning the Rumble, dude. Like, I was hyped for her match with Io when I was there at WrestleMania 40. But like these days, man, I don't know. Bailey's just kind of there. It's kind of stagnated, if not declined. The hype for her. You know what I mean?
I disagree slightly when someone says, "Would anyone be interested?" It's when it comes to any wrestler, it's just booking and storytelling. If you tell the right story, anyone can be interested in anyone. Like you were saying, like Bailey and Io Sky, who cared about Bailey about 2 years beforehand, after she had a massive run of COVID, where she was brilliant. She do from 21, 22, 23, she didn't do a lot. So like, and then she got this brilliant story, and then the great Royal Rumble went. So I think anyone can be pushed if they have the right story. They've done literally jack with Bailey. Since like she lost the title to Io Sky, she's done nothing. So
you're right.
The background character.
That's why no one cares, because she's not been given anything to do. And her and Lyra have, you know, Lyra had the attacking thing with Bailey got taken out at WrestleMania. You're like, oh, that's going to be interesting. And a year went by and nothing. It didn't do anything. So like Bailey had a rivalry with Becky Lynch. And she had one in the triple threat with Lyra, but it was about Lyra and Becky. It made no sense. So I disagree slightly. But I think Bailey, I think her contract runs out at the end of the year, I believe.
That's far out.
Is what I saw.
She
got it. Okay.
A year ago, she had a year and a half left, so I assume she's coming to the end. And I'd have no problem with her going to AEW because A, that's where her friend is. So, you know, go be happy. And B, a fresh coat of paint might be the best thing for her. Though sadly, AEW exactly book the women's division particularly well either. So I don't know what difference it'll make if Bailey's there.
Okay, one more thing here, then we can move on. I know we're running up against the clock a little bit. As far as who the worst woman is, I've enjoyed Bailey matches that didn't have Sasha Banks. I very rarely enjoyed a Sasha Banks match that didn't have Bailey in it. I'll leave it at that.
Interesting. Okay. Me personally, I put Bailey at 4, but that's a very strong 4. They're all great in their own right. I don't think any of them are that bad. But another thing about the Lyra and Tatum situation, I worry that you call up Tatum to the main roster and nobody really cares because, let's be honest, I say this all the time on my NXT show, only 10%, if that, of the main roster fans are watching NXT. Is anybody really even going to pop or react for Tatum Paxley debuting tonight to help Lyra? I don't think so. And Tatum is so over organically as a babyface right now in NXT. Is turning her heel even the right call?
MSG though?
Yeah, turning her heel is not the right call, but at the Garden she'll get a pop. I was
going to say,
I don't know if she would. I guess
I could trust MSG to figure something out.
Yeah, I would. Maybe. I guess we'll see. Charlotte 4. That's the greatest of all times 4. Mike, you're a dumbo.
I mean, hey, well, Mike, boys, we can get an episode for this one.
Honestly. Oh, we could, because I will defend Charlotte with my life.
Mike, I'm with you. I am with you, Mike.
We're saving it. We're definitely putting a pin in that conversation for a future, maybe Dusty finish. That would be a good Dusty finish, I think. There you go.
Hey.
Yeah,
I'm
that's
picking
what
up
all the
what you're
cool
down.
kids do, Mike. Yeah, you're just being like the cool kids. But hey, this match is not that cool because I love Fatal Influence. I want to put this out there. Absolutely love Fatal Influence. But the Brie Bella and Paige tag team, I'm not going to say anything mean. I'm going to try to be nice, guys. I'm going to try to be positive. But Jayhawk, I'm just going to pass this to you first because please give me something good here because we have to put the titles on Fatal Influence, right?
I think we do, and I love Paige. Don't get me wrong. I question some of the company Paige keep, but that's entirely different. I've never been a fan of either one of the Bellas. They've always been overhyped, in my opinion. I love Fallon Henley. I'm honestly not big on Lainey Reed, but I know I'm kind of in the minority from the current fan base there with that. Yeah, I think Fatal Influence has to win the belt here, though. I don't see any other way.
Like, it does them no good losing this match. If you have Fatal Influence, who just got called up, and we can go on another tangent about JC Jane, too, because she lost last night to Tiffany Stratton. Brandon, I just don't see a world where Fatal Influence doesn't walk out with those titles tonight. It needs to happen, in my opinion.
No, I completely agree with you. And I feel as though, I mean, honestly, Paige and Brie Bella was kind of put together on a whim. Like, it just had to happen because Nikki got, hurt, but it sounds like she's making a miraculous recovery at the rate she's going. So hopefully we can figure that storyline out because that's inevitable, right?
It needs to be over with. Is that what that storyline needs to be?
Well, they just need to get Nikki in there, get her back with Brie, turn on Paige, get Paige finally going on this fucking singles run, like we've been all waiting for. Like, I get, like, her and Brie both kind of needing a little bit of rep, and they kind of rely on each other for that. But we've had a couple months now. It's been fun. We're going to move it along to an... Well, has what?
Has it been fun?
Fun. I mean, luckily it went fast. So, like, we're already in late January or July. See, this is... My shit's all getting thrown off. It's been a weird couple of months. But, no, I think it's time we put the belt on Fatal Influence. I think it's time to really establish them on the main roster. We're going to lead up to something happening with JC, whether it's the women's US or WWE women's title. Who's to say? But that's probably coming by the end of the year as well. I wouldn't be surprised at all. Let's get a number of good comes from Brie and Paige losing. Firstly, Brie and Paige lose. Secondly, we peel Paige away from Brie, get her away from the Bellas a bit, get her on her singles run, put the tag titles on an actual female tag team, and just continue like kind of what SmackDown's been doing and putting the belt on guys like Trick, on putting the belt on, I was about to say Damien and R-Truth, tag champs, but they got to figure out their tag division too, by the way. A
lot of
I mean, you've had Fraxium right there, but anyways.
We could talk about that for hours on end. Fraxium's one of my favorite teams, and Fatal Influence. Dude. Honestly, Lainey Reed and Fallon Henley, I think, are two of the most underrated in-ring talents that they have in the WWE.
Absolutely.
If you let those two women cook, they've had some great matches in NXT. But Sam, what are your thoughts on this extravagant women's tag team championship match at MSG?
This match is the epitome of why I'm really struggling with WWE right now. So first of all, I'm going to throw out a stat to you guys. How many times has the title, since WWE returned to Saturday Night's Main Event, has the title changed hands at Saturday Night's Main Event? Okay,
one
0.
Any title?
So we are on, technically, I'm not going to include when they were vacant. So there was the new women's US title that happened. No. Then they had the vacant world title. No. Okay. There's been one title change. And that was Jade Cargill and Tiffany Stratton. And if you remember, Tiffany Stratton was injured and went out for a few months. So I don't know if that even counts. So technically we're batting 0. So if you told me right now that there are going to be no title changes on this card, I am not going to be surprised if this is your first one. So first of all, I'm already worried. Next, Paige, clearly this wasn't the plan for Paige. No. Because Nikki Bella was meant to be the Bellas win at WrestleMania. They should have just not had that happen because it didn't matter. So clearly, what was the plan for Paige? Because you've just completely destroyed all of Paige's momentum. Biggest pop at WrestleMania. I don't know if she was pop at Mania. And what has she been doing? Drifting with one of the worst women's wrestlers who has ever wrestled. She's dangerous. She's unsafe. She complained that she had a 3-minute singles match the other day going, and it's like, yeah, Pri, because that's all you get. That's all you deserve. And then you've got Fatal Influence, who debuted to so much heat. Oh my God, I didn't understand why they were getting so much heat. JC Jane has been jobbed out, and I do not, as people know, I do not use that term lightly. I do not. Has been jobbed out. They have lost all heat. People are now silent when they turn up, which is all WWE's fault, not theirs, because they are three of the most talented women wrestlers. The reason and the reason this is, yes, Primo has one of the worst themes.
That is one of the worst. Yeah.
I'm having her Paige's theme in a minute because Paige will come out with Brie to the Brie mode. She ran out, and I'm like, this is it's a tragedy.
Page's theme is so good. Like, can we just get her on a singles push already?
And
then, so I'm saying, like, let's let it go. Put her in the ladder match.
This is the epitome, is because women's wrestling in WWE right now is unbelievable. They have never had this a dearth of talent, unbelievable wrestlers who can also cut promos, who can also tell a storyline. Have they given them any storyline? No.
Nope.
No storyline. Almost across the board, there is no storyline. It is Liv Morgan has been champion and done nothing.
Absolutely, Zilch.
Even though she's injured, has done nothing. Women's tag champions, did they give them a storyline? No. We've got the Women's United States and the Women's Intercontinental. Have they done anything? No. It has been the complete biggest waste of time, and it's all WWE's booking fault. And I do not care for this match, and I want it to piss off.
I couldn't have said it better myself, Sam. Well said. Get on your soapbox, brother. I love it. But
take my head, take my thoughts, and put them into your mouth. That's exactly. I couldn't have said that better. Yeah, well articulated and every point spot on.
Eric, I will say this to Eric real quick. They do have last chance matches that they do on occasion. So I'm not counting out JC yet. I'm not saying it's the right thing to do. I'm just telling you what WWE is probably going to do is set up a last chance opportunity. At least I hope. Because you knew they were going to put Tiffany on the card. She's from Minnesota. So you had to have her.
She's the United States champion. Maybe she could defend the United States championship.
Don't get me started on her babyface
run.
Up. She's the worst babyface in the company. The worst. She's not a babyface. She's just not. It's not working. Just stop.
I'm just surprised. You talk about things I worked in NXT that don't quite click on the main, and I don't understand that. But then again, too, like you're saying, Sam, like you got to put something behind this, and the fact that the irony carries where you can have the Women's United States Championship defended in Saudi Arabia, of all places, for the very first time after the belt had been around for about, a year? And then you have the United States champion also from Minnesota, because you're giving Chad Gable his moment with Penta, right? Yep. Minnesota boy. You're giving Brock Lesnar something of a moment, a Minnesota boy. But you got Tiffany Stratton, who is the Women's United States champion, and like you said, a deep, deep well of talent. And you can't give her a singles match for a title. You have to put her in... You have to put her in this wacko ladder match, and you have other women you can put in the ladder match too. You don't need to put a champ in there.
Kiana James is
fucking
around. Blake Monroe, Candice LeRae. I mean, come on. Ivy Nile, where's she been?
Look at last year's SummerSlam. Candice LeRae can contribute to a ladder match. She can do crazy shit.
Yes, she's incredible.
Let her fucking go.
This comes from a place of we care. We want the best out of our professional wrestling. We're not shitting on it just to shit on it. We know how good it can be. It's just not that great right now. That's complete honesty from everyone. And I agree, Pierce, get Blake in that ladder match. I'm sure she'll be in it. Chelsea Green's another name. There's another woman that could be in your main event, but they just don't want to do it quite yet, it seems. Eric.
Thank you, Michael Hayes.
There's really no matches I want to see with Paige. I just want to see her on her own, at least me personally.
I'm excited to watch Paige as a singles. She's a really good wrestler who can cut a promo and can tell an emotional story. Why would you want to not watch Paige?
Yeah.
I just want to know how we have 2 nights of SummerSlam, we have 12 titles on the fucking main roster, and we're throwing champion in other fucking title matches.
AEW's doing the same shit too, by the way.
Amazing.
Kevin Knight, who's the TNT champion. Oh, I'm going for the world title now. That TNT title don't matter.
Dude, how long is he going to try to be 2 belts, Kev?
Right? Dude,
we've been on this train, bro. Let's hop
he's
off.
like, I need another one. I don't care about this one because that's...
We're not there, bro.
Titles don't matter in any wrestling company at this point. Let's be honest. They don't. They're just props. Paige versus Rhea would feed families. I think I'd be cool with that.
It'll get there.
They'll get there for sure. But we got to get to the main event because there actually is some stipulation on this match. We have CM Punk and Cody Rhodes, the champs, or the guys that are fighting for the championship at SummerSlam, I should say, are teaming up to face off against Gunther and Sami Zayn. It's funny how we got here because Gunther and Sami Zayn used to be big rivals about a year ago, but now they're on the same team, and if they pick up the victory here, they will be added to that matchup at SummerSlam, and it will become a fatal 4-way match. Now, boys, we obviously know that Gunther is in the mix right now with Nick Aldis, so a lot of speculation is that Gunther could maybe be facing off against Nick Aldis at SummerSlam. I am under the impression that you could potentially save CM Punk versus Cody Rhodes for WrestleMania because that is a WrestleMania match. I would not be surprised if Gunther and Sami Zayn win this matchup and get added to make it a fatal 4-way at SummerSlam just so they could keep the title on CM Punk and save that match with Cody for a bigger time. With all that being said, though, My pick is actually going to be CM Punk and Cody Rhodes. I think that they're going to save Gunther and Nick Aldis for SummerSlam. There's going to be some dissension between Gunther and Sami Zayn. So I'm going with the baby faces here in CM Punk and Cody Rhodes to win. But I'm curious. Brandon, let's start with you. How do you see this main event shaking out?
Well, the enemy of my enemy and my other enemy is my friend in this case. I'd be very curious to see how Gunther and Sammy work together because of their history. I'd be curious to see how CM Punk and Cody Rhodes work together because Punk's throwing out there that he's him and Cody, and it's probably just a shit for a promo, but going after the tag titles with Damian and Truth, assuming they're still the champs. But right, I think there's a lot. So the thing is, it's clear what they're going to do with Gunther. They have a clear pathway to SummerSlam with Gunther if they were to lose here. It's Gunther and Aldis, and maybe Aldis factors into the decision at some way in some point, sometime, or Gunther just up and blames him for everything anyway. He's like, fucking Nick Aldis, just cost him the match or whatever, even though he didn't, and then even the building that night. But I mean, assuming, and I don't know who wins here because I feel again that you have something for Gunther. I want to say Punk and Rhodes. Punk and Rhodes is a pretty marquee match. I haven't thought about. When was the last time we had a fatal 4-way world title match in WWE on a big card like SummerSlam? I'm having a hard time recalling.
I'm gonna pull up
Royal
the
Rumble
Google machine.
24.
Oh, you're probably right.
Rumble when?
Yeah.
Royal Rumble 24. Roman Reigns, LA Knight, AJ Styles, Randy Orton.
Oh, yes. Yes, you're right. But I mean, I feel as though they don't happen that often. I feel as though, like, in this case, they.
No, never mind. It was for the U.S. title. My bad. Sorry. They brought up Fatu, Knight, Priest, and McIntyre, but that doesn't count.
Oh yeah, no, that was U.S. But I almost want to say that Punk and Rhodes win this one to maintain that marquee, because really, like, the way SummerSlam is being sold right now, I feel like a Fatal 4-Way does nothing to boost sales of the PLE. Like, I feel like you stick with Punk and Rhodes, and I think you have another match that people have kind of been wanting to see on the back burner. You want to fill out like the mid card in that, put Gunther Aldis in there. My question is, what do you do with Sammy if they were to lose?
What I was going to ask you.
Now he is the WWE champion. A couple weeks ago thereabout, and he had all this heat behind him about the scathing promo.
3 weeks, was he?
Huh?
I stopped watching wrestling for 3 weeks. Was Sami Zayn the champion?
I mean, who'd have thunk it, right? Yeah. Interesting little trivia.
Oh, your microphone doing his thing again.
Damn it all. Still going? 1, 2?
Yeah.
Are we good?
We're getting there. Yeah, go.
Good enough?
We're almost
okay.
done.
I'm gonna fix that situation. Don't you worry now. But yeah, last Quebecois to be a 9-day champion was Stan Stasiak back way back in the day. I thought that was kind of funny because, like, you don't get many Quebecois champions, and you don't get many 9-day reigns, but it happened that those two share that. So, but yeah, no.
Every time that would happen, I have 2 nickel, which ain't a lot. But
yeah, you can rub them together even. But I don't know. It's what do you do with Sami Zayn if they were to lose? And maybe that's a whole other question besides who's going to win this. I'll say this. I think Punk and Rhodes is the match for SummerSlam. I think they stick with that because they have to fill the card yet. And if you take Gunther and Sammy out of that equation, that's 2 pretty big matches that you could, feasibly fill with both those guys individually in different spots, even on different days. So agreed. I think that the business move there is to keep Rhodes and Punk as it is.
Sam, what do you think about this main event?
I've got so many points. Thank God they added a stipulation, otherwise I would have gone on my soapbox again.
Correct.
I mean, good bloody grief. Hey, holy SmackDown main event, Batman. I mean, who in the bloody hell is booking this crap? I don't believe this was necessarily going to be booked, because why wouldn't you say it in the first place with the tag team match? Why would you say it afterwards? Who knows? If I'm being perfectly honest, I would be actually surprisingly shocked if Gunther and Sammy didn't win this, if I'm being perfectly honest, because they've already announced that Brock and Oba are main eventing night 1.
Oh, they did announce that.
I believe so. I've been completely
Makes sense.
Again. I believe that's main event night 1, which would then lead me to believe that Roman Reigns would be main eventing night 2 because it's Roman Reigns. So are you really not going to have Cody and Punk? So I would also save that for WrestleMania, because my viewpoint
what
I'm in
I
a
asked.
fantasy book now and be currently wrong because they're going to do Cody versus Punk. But the Fatal 4-Way makes sense because Gunther needs something to do, because if Gunther's not in the world title scene, what does he do? So I assume the Nick Aldis is a rivalry over the course of the autumn months. Sammy will have nothing to do at SummerSlam, so otherwise, what does he do? Do you really leave him off the card, the W champion from a couple of weeks ago? This won't be a main event worthy because of that making it the Fatal 4-Way. CM Punk Cody can then go to WrestleMania, so it just kind of makes sense to me to make this a Fatal 4-Way.
Can I ask you a question, Sam?
Go on for it.
Then what would you do with the whole Nick Aldis Gunther situation? Would you save that for a B-level PLE later in the year?
I doubt it's a few matches, but the fact they only have 5 matches, maybe 6 on a card, they struggle to fit them on anyway. So most likely, yeah, I would have it on a B. I don't see it as SummerSlam, mainly because Nick hasn't wrestled. So if you don't know who Nick Aldis is, we do, obviously, but if you don't know who Nick Aldis is, it would be really jarring that this guy wrestles Gunther. I probably would put it a little bit lower. On a B pay-per-view. Money in the Bank could be a really good place for it because you need matches in between the Money in the Bank matches. So I think I'd be shocked if they didn't win this, to be honest, because you could sow the seed of CM Punk and Cody. I think Punk is going to be insisting on taking on other people over the course of the autumn. Didn't he have a thing with Damian Priest that happened on SmackDown?
Yeah, they had a little bit.
Finn Balor's been floating around. It wouldn't shock me if CM Punk gets distracted. It's more what Cody does, actually, over the next few months. What do you do with him?
Yeah.
I would do Cody versus Sammy as a long-running feud. So literally, Gunther and Sammy, in my eyes,
spin off,
has to win this. Otherwise, I think it makes a lot of things a mess for the next month. But that's just me with sensibility. We know WWE, great fans of that.
You changed my pick, by the way. I'm going with Gunther and Sami Zayn now. And I even mentioned that point. They could just push Punk back versus Cody Rhodes as a singles match at WrestleMania. And then you start that feud there. But Jayhawk, you're the last one here. Final pick of the show. What you got?
Yeah, Cam hit pretty much every point I was going to make. So I don't need to really reiterate it. If there were a definitive direction for Cammy right now, I would say Cody and Punk were going to win it. Not having that definitive direction for Cammy, and he got to be on the card somewhere. This is probably the easiest thing to do to get him on the card. That being said, I fucking hate 4-way. I don't want to see Roman Reigns and Seth Rollins again main eventing a goddamn PLE. I know it's been 4 years, but I was tired of it then. It had not been long enough without both of those guys in the main event picture for me to give a shit. Punk and Cody is a fresh goddamn match. That's what I want to see personally, but I don't see a way for Cammy to be on the card to make sense unless they win this match here, and that's really what it comes down to for me.
Yeah, we crapped on the card, and it's not the most exciting card by any means, but I do think the main event is intriguing now because of the added stipulation. Because like Sam said before, if you didn't have a stipulation on that match, You're just having a hard time getting me to even tune in to that show.
Now, I will say, as far as Gunther and Aldis go, if they were voting toward Gunther and Pierce, I think a lot of people would care. Because Pierce has been around for so long, and even though he's never really wrestled in WWE, it's been mentioned before that he used to be a wrestler.
I don't think he can wrestle anymore, Pierce. I thought there was a thing he couldn't anymore.
I'm just saying that. I'm just saying from a fan standpoint, if that's the match they were building to, people would care. Pierce doesn't want to wrestle anymore. I don't even know if it matters if he can't wrestle. He doesn't want to do it. Aldis, I think, wants to wrestle. I think that's the main thing. But
I'm intrigued with the whole Nick Aldis situation.
As a Nick Aldis fan, I want to see that match. I'm in the minority, but I know that the WWE universe had no idea who Nick Aldis. They had no idea who Nick Aldis was when he got the GM spot. Who's this random British guy that's the GM now?
He was a gladiator once.
And nobody remembers it.
Magnus.
He was Magnus.
We're showing our ages a little bit, I think, over here. But we are approaching the hour mark. And who knows, Michelle, maybe Nick finds a way to cost Gunther here. We will find out tonight. I don't know if we're going to be watching live, but eventually we will watch it at some point. And we hope that you guys enjoyed watching this countdown to the countdown of Saturday night's main event. So why don't you hit that subscribe button, because we're doing a lot of fun stuff over here We got a lot of great shows, so hit that subscribe button for more. Follow us on X, on IG, at mainevent_net. And boys, make it quick. We're going to go around the horn, tell the people where they can find you, and then we're going to get the hell out of here. Elder Sam, I'll go to you.
Sam's on wrestling every Tuesday, every Thursday, every Sunday, 6 p.m. UK time, and whatever that is in America. We have a video. It comes out every Tuesday, every Thursday, every Sunday, from trivia contests to rankings to discussions to top 10 lists. Pretty much everything that you could watch. So there'll be a series you'll enjoy, as well as the Transatlantic Pop with me and Jay Gold. Once a month, we will be doing a Transatlantic Pop next after SummerSlam. But check out our last episode, and it came out last week. Go check it out.
Jayhawk, where can they find you?
Podcast Y, the Indie Wrestling Guide, dropping every Thursday wherever you look into your favorite podcast. Follow me on the social media, most of them at Ref Jayhawk, with the exception of Instagram, which is at Jayhawk1539. And I do some refereeing in Northeast Ohio. I will be working for Real Action Pro Wrestling in Youngstown, Ohio, next Saturday at 6 p.m. That's July 25th.
Nice.
So.
Oh, is that SummerSlam weekend? Or no, I'm
No,
thinking of the wrong weekend.
the week before.
Well, I don't know if Jay Gold has talked to you. Maybe we have to talk off air. Warrior Wrestling is actually looking for referees to work that Friday of SummerSlam weekend. So I'm just throwing that out there, Jayhawk. I know you're a Hall of Famer.
I don't know if I can work that out with the shoot job, but we'll talk off air.
Okay, sounds like a plan. All right, Brandon, where can they find you and the rest of the Ope 3-way?
Yes, sir. Yeah, as you said, I am 1/3 of the Ope 3-way. We are on all socials. We are on Facebook, Insta, X, TikTok. Trying to do something with Twitch there. We'll figure it out. But anywhere you can find us, it's at _A3_way. You can also find us on YouTube. We drop weekly episodes every Thursday, pre-recorded. We also put out a Fine Sketty every month. You have my mug on there, kind of just playing around, dicking about with a little TikTok video editing. But it lets you know what we're going to be talking about. And we got some fun friends because, Donnie's been very, very busy getting married and all that. So in lieu of him being absent, we've tried to find a 3. And we've had a lot of cool friends, a lot of great people, a lot of people we've met, wrestlers, podcast folks, streamers, hoping to get some promoters on there maybe at one point in time. But we all talk wrestling. It's a great time. It's very laid back. You'll love it. All of our retro stuff's on Spotify, too, in case you're interested. It's on YouTube also, but easier to access on Spotify. We're there.
Right on, brother. And make sure you're showing some love to all the crew over here. And you can catch me every Tuesday night with Jay Gold, 10:10 Eastern. We're recapping NXT every night on the night shift. And, of course, the flagship of the Main Event Wrestling Network, the On the Mark Wrestling Podcast, is live every single Thursday night at 8 p.m. Eastern. This week, we had none other than the Perminator, Sam Beal, on the show, ahead of his Warrior World Championship match against the rudest Trevor Outlaw. That is going down tomorrow night. So if you live in the Northwest Indiana or Chicagoland area, tickets are still available. So come hang out with the OTM crew as we hopefully celebrate another winner for Sam Beal in that main event. But we appreciate you guys taking some time out of your day to check out this mixer. Make sure you subscribe to our channel to keep up with all the main event moves that we have going on. And we'll catch you guys next time. Have a great weekend, everyone.
What up, though? You already know what it is. Best in the world, a.k.a. The Problem. Isaiah Bronin. And you watching the Main Event Wrestling Network.